Sit down, shut the fuck up and get ready for my review of Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo is a visual novel released for the Windows operating system on January 4, 2012. If you are an uninformed casual, a visual novel is a genre of video game that involves you reading a story told via music, sprites, and text while giving you choices to make throughout your gameplay session. These decisions can lead to different scenes, endings, and routes, or paths of choices that lead to a specific storyline. It's basically an adventure book with hot anime titties in it. This game was developed by 4 Leaf Studios, a compilation of a bunch of random people from online forums that saw an old drawing of a few handicapped girls and thought it would be a good idea to make a game out of it. Luckily they were right and made possibly one of my favorite visual novels of all time. Story time. You play as a character Hisao, a pretty normal high school student. He ran into some bad luck when he had a heart attack after receiving a confession note from his crush. Bummer. So after she and all his school friends eventually leave him, he is released from the hospital and told to go to Yamaku Academy, a school designed specifically for people with disabilities. Now I'm not gonna be talking about the side characters since I'm doing this at 5:21 in the morning and I haven't been to sleep yet, but you have your teachers and staff and of course your small harem of girls. A quick rundown. Emmy is a generic yet delightful girl with no legs, as an accident kinda stole them for a bit. Besides having severe daddy issues, she also likes running with her prosthetic legs. Blah blah. Next girl. Rin is an armless girl who speaks like she's Nostradamus. She has a knack for painting but struggles over what she really wants to do with her life. Hangako is a shy character who suffered a terrible accident that has left 50% or so of her body badly burned and scarred. She's kawaii as fuck sometimes but mostly chills out by herself because depression. Shizune is a deaf girl who serves as the student council president. She has a translators named Misha, I think, and Misha is annoying as fuck, although 90% of what she says is translated from Shizune, so maybe they're both awful. Besides being the sole reason why I exist, Lilly is a blind, tall babe with nothing negative about her at all. Disclaimer, I might have bias towards Lilly, but only a little. This is the part where I will give my personal opinion on all 5 routes of the game, the art of the game, and the soundtrack of the game as well, with some closing thoughts. Emmy's route was great at first. The most H scenes out of any, most of which back to back, which is nice I guess. Aside from a nice confession scene, some funny bits here and there and some moments where we see Emmy get super fucking triggered at Hisao, which I do like since it fleshes her character out more. This route was kinda made to me. The ending was hey let's go to my dad's grave, cry hug and fuck within a matter of 7 minutes, unless you count the events leading up to there, in that case it's like 20, but regardless it wasn't the best nor the worst. Hangako was my first route since she piqued my interest first. It was kinda frustrating at first, her being so fucking reclusive and unwilling to give you any attention for the longest time unless you account a small blush and thank you as attention. Can't fool me Japan. I do think this also helps flesh out her character as well since she has been through a traumatic event and her response is to sometimes literally shut down. The scene where they show each other their scars was extremely powerful. It probably had the biggest impact in the game for me, but the H scene was a bit off. It didn't have rape vibes like I see a few people say, but the text makes it seem so spur of the moment. Rin's route is barely romance but more a chance to view the inner workings of ourselves and what makes us happy. The H scene was fucking awful but honestly made sense in context, but my problem with it lies in how she acts a bit too much like Hangako. Imagine if Hangako took her reclusive attitude and combined it with someone who talked like they are a philosopher. No thanks. The ending was pretty good since you kinda get a confession, which also makes it feel like the route just started. This route had the most potential, but fuck, I hate open-ended endings. Shizu's route is an okay one. It has this cross point where you can choose to cheat on her with her translator Misha, who also happens to have a crush on Shizu, so that's cool. You start the relationship very early on as well, and although Misha is around for like 70% of the route, you still find moments of peace and tenderness with her. The ending is fucking horseshit though. We'll just go our separate ways and promise to meet up when we're older. You fucked a bitch. You loved a bitch. And now you just gonna leave a bitch? Why exactly? What are you, fucking gay? Seriously though, I hate these all's well that ends well endings. The best saved for last. Prepare for me to reboot. Lilly's route is a masterpiece. Now it doesn't do anything groundbreaking. It doesn't open your third eye or generate 9/11 theories, but what it does do is tender romance, and it does it fucking perfectly and beautifully. Everything from the pacing, to the H scenes, which are very carefully placed and not just a rabbit fuck fest like Emmy, are paid attention to, so they end up feeling extremely close and emotional. Even the blindfold scene, to the way they handle her blindness and show tender moments where they bond by physically feeling each other's faces, up to the fucking ending, which is how an ending is done. Still 0.0001% salty that we didn't get a confirmed marriage or anything, but fuck, it's fantastic in every aspect. The music in this game is pretty nice. Relaxing beats, not trying to impress anyone, and fits the tone whenever it needs to. I think the art is where I disagree with most. I originally thought the game was made in Japan like most visual novels, but it was actually made in the UK, which surprises me because sometimes, like in the case of Lilly and Hangako, I feel like they did a decent job creating a very good anime-ish art style. You then have characters like Muta that have what almost everyone agrees to be ugly, but I enjoy it. It's a break from the same standard anime look of everyone else. It's abstract, weird, and hard to understand like the character himself. I really enjoy what they did with the art, and except for a few faces, aka every Emmy face but like 2 of them. Her face when she told you to get out was really janky looking especially. I think they did a decent job of balancing everything out. Nothing groundbreaking like I said, but it does what it does pretty damn good. So for my closing thoughts. Katawa Shoujo was my first visual novel in about 3 years. I played through it on my phone, and for a free visual novel from the United Kingdom it surpassed my expectations. The way it was able to handle the disability problems without outright censoring themselves and making everything look so natural, and with the benefit of being made for English speakers first, which by the way this is easily some of the best writing I've seen on a game like this, then this is an experience players won't soon forget. It's 7:06 now, so I think I'm going to go to bed for 2 hours before I'm woken up to do work.